So today's video is about witchcraft. So this is in Isaiah 47 verse 13. And this says, "You have worn yourself out asking for advice for those who study the stars and tell the future month after month. Go ask them how to be saved from what will happen." So God is not happy with people who look to witchcraft, or in this case, this is talking about like horoscopes. Because horoscopes are like, if you're Leo or whatever, Libra, Cancer, whatever, that's, from studying the stars. Well, there are, these people out there that considered fortune tellers who will, for money, a lot of times for money, they will tell you the future of, what you can expect for however far in the future. Well, that is completely witchcraft. And the thing is like with horoscopes, I used to read horoscopes a long time ago. I never realized like it was witchcraft. So I'm sure there are so many people out there that probably do the same thing, like they read their horoscopes and think, because I used to think it was like a word from God and never looked at it that it was witchcraft at all. And then come to find out that yes, it is witchcraft. And so I stopped reading it. And I was just horrified because I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no clue. So, but there are some other like books in the Bible that talks about witchcraft. So there's Deuteronomy, there's Galatians, there's 1 Samuel, and there's Revelation. But there is also like some other books in the Bible that talks about, along with witchcraft, it's just darkness in general. And darkness is representing like evil presences, like demonic spirits, and that we are not to have anything to do with it. So this is something that, God is warning, do not have anything to do with witchcraft, with any sort of darkness. So you warn yourself out asking for advice. Like so many people like rely on, fortune tellers to tell them, what's going to happen. And, you don't realize that you're actually involving yourself, your life, getting into the witchcraft, into the demonic realm, and they can just suck you in. And it is such a scary thing because people can get into that and it just wreaks havoc in their life. And even though it seems like it's a harmless thing, you're just reading a horoscope, but it's not harmless. And a lot of times that's how the demonic works, is they will have something that like a horoscope that seems completely harmless, and it doesn't look like it'd be anything demonic because it seems like it's something that would be helping you. And that's a lot of times how the demonic realm gets people hooked. And it can be very dangerous because it can wreak such havoc in your life by doing that. Just doing something that simple is just reading a horoscope. Or, there's like those little Chinese cookies. It's got, the little thing in there that is a little horoscope in there. And it's all the same thing. And it's all tied to the demonic. It is considered witchcraft. And what is so scary is when you get yourself involved in stuff like that, you are opening doors to the demonic, to your life. So just doing something simple like that can open that door for all sorts of demons to come in and just wreak so much havoc in your life. And if you're reading horoscopes, and then weird things start happening and, your life is all in shambles. Well, it doesn't always take, horoscopes, because we can open doors to the demonic in our lives in like a lot of different ways. But like our eyes and our ears are portals. So that's why, we have to be so careful of what we watch, what we listen to, because demonic can get in through your eyes and your ears. And it sounds so crazy. And years ago, I probably never would have even believed this. But I could tell you it is so true. It is so scary, and it's so easy that people don't realize, like how simple of a thing, like how easily the demonic can get in, and just to be able to wreak so much havoc. And there's so many things that are tied to witchcraft, and there's all sorts of things. That could be like a whole other video, because there's like, there's sometimes like crystals, that can be tied to witchcraft, all sorts of things, but I'm not even going to get into that. But Isaiah 47:13, God is warning, to, stop doing the witchcraft. Stop involving yourself in witchcraft. Go ask them how to be saved from what will happen. Because God's basically saying, if you're not going to read my word and believe my word and what it says, well, I'm telling you that you have to go and, to demonic, to a fortune teller, to somebody who studies the stars to tell the future. You pay money to these people that are demonic to get the answer, or so-called answer, about your future, instead of going to God and reading His Word, which His Word has got an answer for every problem you could have. And people, they have their answer right in front of them, but they don't read it. And so, God's got the answer right there for you, but you're looking to the demonic for your answer. So that is not good. I hope this opens some eyes to people who, like me, did not even realize, just innocently, just reading it, thinking, it was no big deal. And so hopefully this opens some eyes for people that know horoscopes are not good. And if you're reading them, it's good to just stop. Because, in several places in the Bible, it talks about to, not partake in any sort of darkness. So, and that is definitely darkness. So I hope this helps, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.